Recycle takes unwanted bikes and sends them off to Africa. Since they started 20 years ago, wait for this, they've sent over 60,000 bicycles to people who really need them in Africa and will make a real difference to them. Over 60,000. Claire Kettle, the charity's operation manager, has been giving Matt a tour of the operation at Recycle.
We do have a couple of centres based in Suffolk that people can take their bikes to. I know that the local recycling centres will accept bikes. It'd be great if people could get bikes to us before they even think about taking them to the tip, because once they're there, they're classed as waste. And if they come to us, then prior to that, then they're not classed as waste, and we can ship them out to Africa and keep the Environment Agency happy.
We're in an office right now. An office environment is, by its nature, quite boring. Let's move out of here. Okay. It's amazing. You walk into this massive warehouse, and then there is a shipping container plonked in the middle of the warehouse.
Try and get these alternated, so we go top to tail and to really get them tight in there.
Warehouse manager, Mark, you know everything there is to know about this, don't you? We are in a container at the moment. It's probably half full.
About half full. When we're finished, this will be about 500 bikes, plus all the spare parts, plus wheels, tyres, ready to go. And this is off to go on a Friday.
And we just hit, when you walk into this warehouse, it's stunning. This number of bikes are not wanted by people.
Everything you see in this warehouse potentially has just been either sitting in a garage, never going to be used, or it was about to go to landfill. So when you look at you can see the amount of bikes and parts and everything else that's here, that potentially could have been all landfill.
And these will be gone in the next month or two?
Oh, quicker than that. So turnover, I mean, we last year 9,500 bikes to Africa. Probably after that we had another 3,000 we used for parts, etc. So there's a lot of turnover bikes coming and going. And really, the more bikes that come in, the more containers we send out. So anyone's got a bike sitting there, they know they're not going to use it, get it down to us. Brilliant.
You've got volunteers helping you here. So who are these guys?
So we've got Sam in today. So Sam's been helping out with the containers. We've got James here. James is excellent. He just cuts those spokes off so we can get that aluminium rim ready for recycling. There we go.
It's a great sound. And I like the way that the tension in the wheel becomes less as it goes round.
That's right. That's taking the tension out of it. So you can see here, Matt, a lot of the volunteers, the bulk of our volunteers is about prepping the bike for Africa. So we don't actually fix them here. We have mechanics out in Africa that travel around our different partners to support the mechanics there, and we make sure they've got enough tools and the equipment to actually, and they're trained to service the bikes once they're in Africa. So our main role here is to take the bike, make sure it is quality enough to go to Africa, make sure it's got all the parts it needs, and then we have volunteers here. John here is doing the prepping, so he's making that bike as small and as compact as we can get it. Without doing this work, you only get about 350 bikes on a container. By this prepping, we're up to about 500 plus spare parts. But when the main cost is that shipping of the container, that just makes it all much more worthwhile.
We've just walked out the back. What have we got here?
So we're now into, this is the end of the line, if you like, taking the odds and sods off, maybe the odd parts. And then we get to the very bottom there. You can see that's the last of the mixed scrap, if you like. So that's steel frames. That's it.
That's all the waste that you've got it whittled down to. Yep. That's all you're going to throw away.
Yep. So there's a few very old steel wheels. So we'll just send them, and that's just the mixed steel, really.
So the waste that you've got there is maybe a small skip load.
If that, we have a local skip man, and it is just a little van very rarely, a couple of times a year, really, because that's part of what we want to do is get that down to the bare minimum, and that's clean enough. We get a decent price again to raise money, so that's good. It gets rid of it all.
Wow, that's just fantastic. That was Mark Pamment, the warehouse manager at Recycle, showing Matt Marvel.
Hello.
Just how little is sent to landfill. Every possible part of a bike is used. If you've got a bike you don't want, or you just don't need, they're bits as well as whole bikes and stuff?
Yeah. Anything at all to do with a bicycle, they'll take it and they'll use it as well.
Right, okay. www.re-cycle.org